Hey guys, Daily Dose here. Sorry about that, it's kind of cold out. Doing a video here about my new alcohol stove. It's one I got off eBay. It's by a company called Alox. I have seen these for a while. It's basically a Trangia stove copy. It comes with the adjustable burner here. I'm going to use it without. Make a cup of tea here. So just to kind of show you, I've got my fire steel here to start it with. There we go. It's hard to see the flame because it is an alcohol stove, but well, it didn't quite start. Just wanted to. I might not have enough alcohol in it because I did use it the other day, but I have a feeling we should be able to get it started here in a second. Sorry about that. One moment. Let's give it a closer strike. Oop. Come on. Oh, usually I have an easier time. It's not the stove. I think it's the amount of alcohol I got in it, which isn't a whole lot. Let's try a closer burn up here. Wow, this looks bad, doesn't it? Okay. I think I've got a backup here. Might be the ferro rod isn't hot enough to start the alcohol, but as most bushcrafters do, I've got a backup ignition source, some matches, and that should start it up. There we go. Well, it wants to start, but it's not. I think what I might have to do, be careful when you do this, by the way, because you don't want to light your hand on fire with the alcohol. Maybe priming it a little bit. Oh, there we go. Now it's started up. So, put more alcohol in it. That's the moral of the story. It didn't happen to, but you can fill it really full. Works really well. But yeah, match would probably be a better way to start it anyways. So what I've got is some passion flower tea. Yep, that's heating up. So this stove, I've used it a couple times now. I've used it for coffee, you know. I have yet to cook with it, but I plan to do that eventually. But it's definitely a decent value. It cost me about 15 bucks shipped. Took probably about a week or so to get here, but it fits these Alpine cups really well, almost to a T. So we will let that boil up. But yeah, you know, a lot of bushcraft guys, you know, not saying there's anything wrong with it because I do it too. I mean, you can see the soot on this cup. Like to put their cups in actual fire, which is fine. But you know, when you're on a quick hike like this, it can be pretty nice to just get something to drink going. You know, it doesn't have to take a long time either. This usually boils within, let's say, 5 minutes or so, which is pretty good for an alcohol stove. I'm happy with it. Don't really have any complaints, but yeah, I'll get back to you here once this starts to boil, and let you know exactly how long it takes. I am timing it here, so I'll get back to you. Thanks. Hey guys, Daily Dose back here again with the tea. As you can see, it's not quite boiling yet, but it is starting to steam here. Got a little bit of bubbles going. It's been about 3 minutes so far, so I'm expecting within the next couple minutes this should be at a boil and we can finish making our tea. So get back to you again. Alright guys, so we have got our water pretty good and hot. You can see it steaming there hopefully. I didn't make it a rolling boil, but it definitely was boiling. So now I'm going to drop my tea bag in and we'll cover that, let it simmer. But just to show you here, you know, it's a pretty decent product, I think. Once again, just so you can see it a little better, this is our alcohol stove. Alox brand is the name. It's basically just a Trangia copy. Comes with a neat little burner there, carrying case. So just thought I'd kind of show you what I got recently. So anyways guys, thanks for watching. Comment, rate, and subscribe. Hey guys, Daily Dose here. Gonna do another video here. This one is about Charcloth. For those of you that don't know, which most of you probably do, if you're into this sort of thing. If you're not, here's kind of an introduction. Charcloth is a tinder material, or not a tinder, but more of a, well, it is a tinder in a way. It's usually used to start tinder, this particular item is essentially cotton material, as you can see right here. Now these are cut up pieces of t-shirt, cotton t-shirt specifically. Usually it's made out of a cotton material, but you can actually char a lot of other things too, like bark and various things. But basically I cut up a piece of t-shirt, and what you do with this, you need a metal container. Altoids tins work great, otherwise round containers like this will work. What you do is you poke a hole. Some guys like to poke the hole, some guys like to just vent it a little bit. I like the hole, I think it's easier. And you put it over an ignition source, like fire. I'm just using this cheap camp stove here. I usually turn it down fairly low. But you set it on top of whatever you're using to heat it up and let her go. What you do when it's completely done, and you'll know it's done because there's going to be smoke coming out of the top here, and basically the smoke is the gases that escape when you char cotton, and essentially what you're doing is you're turning it into a black charred material, which will take a spark really easily and hold that spark. That is actually what Charcloth is. It's exactly what it sounds like. It's charred cloth. Sorry, I'm kind of in the smoke here. Unpleasant smoke. Anyways, so what it does is it'll turn black. You're starving it of oxygen by keeping it in the container. And when that stops smoking, you're going to want to plug the hole if you got a hole, or just completely close your Altoids container. So basically what it does is it starves the oxygen by keeping it in the tin, and it's going to turn it into a charred material similar to charcoal but thinner. And it'll take a spark from a ferro rod, or flint and steel is what I use it for. And you can put that into a tinder bundle like dried grass or birch bark, and you can blow it into a flame by using the charred piece of material. So I'll get back to you and show you what it looks like when we're done. Alright guys, so the cloth has stopped smoking. So what we're going to do now is turn the gas off the stove. And then what we're going to do is starve the oxygen by putting a stick inside. Some people debate that, but I think it works pretty well. So we will give this another couple minutes. Let that cool down, which is key. You definitely want to let it cool down before you touch it. And hopefully we'll have some Charcloth here in a minute. So I'll get back to you again. Alright guys, so we've got our Charcloth here done. So I'll show you what it looks like. We'll take that stick out and toss that away just to show you what it looks like here. It's hard to see with the light. Let me see if I can get a better shot of it here. But basically, it just looks like charred cotton. It's very thin. Let me see if I can pull a piece out so you can see. It's fairly delicate, but it holds together. You can rip it real easy. But yeah, it's basically just looks like black charred cotton. I'm going to see if I can show you how to strike that with a piece of flint and see what we can do here. So, let me just grab my flint and my fire steel. Alright, let me adjust the camera. There we go. So basically you take your Charcloth. This is the method I was taught. A lot of people do it differently, but just to give you an idea. Find a good sharp edge, which is a good one right there. And you put your Charcloth kind of on top of the sharp edge. Take your fire steel, whatever way is comfortable. This is comfortable for me to hold it. And you start striking it, and it's kind of something you learn to do with the striking. It's not always the easiest, but you'll eventually get it. So, let's see if we can get some sparks. Oh, and there we go. I don't know if you can see that, but the edge of this is just caught. It's burning. You can yeah, there you go. Now you can see it. Basically, you put this into your tinder bundle, and you just you put it in the middle, blow, and try to catch fire with it. So, and you can save that. You know, if you start it up and you don't use it all, just cover it up again, and starving the oxygen will stop it from burning. You know, you can jam another stick in there if you need to, or what have you. But that's a real easy way to start a fire if you kind of learn the technique of using the fire steel and using the piece of flint here. It's pretty simple. Just takes practice. Once you get it, you'll start doing it like you've been doing it for years. Yeah, so that's kind of my video on how to make Charcloth and how to spark it. And it also takes fire steel sparks really easy. So I wouldn't stress too much if you don't have these. It's always handy to use with a fire steel, although usually you don't need, you know, Charcloth if you have a fire steel and you got a good tinder bundle. But it's good practice to use it anyways. It gets you familiar with the subject anyways. So thanks guys. Have a great day. Comment, rate, and subscribe.